Yes, after watching the discussion on the 1973 podcast, the Bruins organization had to get this deal done. I believe if you watch episode 56, it's clear how we had to approach this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, here we go again. It's your mom's favorite podcast, the 1973 podcast. We got a special guest this week. We've been trying to get him on for a while, as everybody. Take some arm twisting, greasing some palms. Right below me right
it cost me an arm and a leg, but I was able to negotiate.
Oh boy, Raymond.
Oh, shit.
Raymond has checked in. Good. Ray, before we get going, tell everybody on the podcast and everybody watching at home how we know each other and how you know a couple guys on the podcast, and maybe a quick little backstory on the old hookaroo.
Yeah, probably the oldest is you and I, as far as going back. East Fairhaven School, East Fairhaven, Hamlet Homes, growing up. One of the first people I played hockey with was you, and then I left East Fairhaven School. I came back, then we ended up back together in 5th grade with Miss Messier. And and it just started from that. It was always hockey that drew us back together, So.
Ray, a little quick backstory on the old hookaroo.
Yes, sir. Oh, what happened? Oh, I was electrocuted. Yeah. 14,800 volts went in my hands and on my foot.
Damn.
Sorry, Ray, we'll probably get to that, in little bits and pieces, but glad to have you on. And
thank you.
So,
and again, I'm sorry it took so long to get here.
You're here now, so we're just looking for a bubbly personality and maybe a story about electricity every now and then.
Okay. It'll be shocking, I promise.
He has an electric personality.
Very good, Bradford.
He's always getting banned on Facebook.
I applaud that.
High five, buddy.
Before we get going too, I want to wish a member on the podcast, he's not 50 yet, Shaggy, happy birthday. Today's the birthday, so might as well get that party started.
Got that old Forester.
Today's
happy birthday.
Old Forester, boys.
Damn.
I got my own rocks.
He went big for the birthday.
So, Ed, before we get going with the email, I want you to explain. We touched on it last week. Ed was a little bit, he had, something was going on last week. He was a little bit upset. So,
bitch.
Ed, stop being a bitch and talk about the billboard.
Well, I mean, so this has been under construction behind me for quite some time. Finally, through the miracles of modern technology, has finally come to fruition. So the space behind me is for rent. So,
oh my God!
Is that the space behind Gary Bettman's ears?
I mean, if it's Gary, then he better be coming with at least 6 zeros at the end of the number.
How much are we charging? The people that want that space, that just give us a view, a like, and subscribe.
Yeah, or $25 a week, depending on who you are. For the price of an OnlyFans membership, you can rent space behind Ed's head.
I don't know. Ed might have to show his feet or some skin or something.
His bills.
Yeah, whatever takes this thing to the next level. Then maybe
he might have to show the backside of his ball sack for $25 a month.
Man, you guys pimp me out. Like, I'm a little bit more than that, Damn.
Okay, less ball here.
Yeah. I mean,
trim it up, get a shave.
Yeah. You can only see the front. You can never see the back.
Yeah, shave and a haircut, buddy. Come on.
Ed, take it away.
All right. Hey there, podcast fans. Are you ready to show off your love for the 1973 podcast? We've got over 20 different designs of t-shirts and hoodies. Essence of classic stuff. Whether you're a fan of the show or just love that retro feel, we've got something for everybody. Sorry. All right.
Sounds like the rain of flea market.
Your favorite person. Each piece is made with top-notch quality and timeless style you crave. Perfect for lounging around the house or making a statement out and about. And don't wait, our collection is flying off the shelves Faster than you can say, don't be cheap, buy a shirt. Visit us now at bonfire.com and grab your favorites before they're gone. And 1973 T-shirt store on YouTube. Just click the link below. All right. I mean, you can probably, if we wouldn't get, copyright infringement from Sharon, we could be playing some Aussie in the background here for changes, but we don't have that kind of budget. So this, and I referenced that for a reason. So this is from James from Tenby, Wales. Okay, so changes. Hello, 1973. Question for you guys: if you go back and start all over again, what would you do different? Just found your podcast, and I think you guys do a great job. Pretty funny group, very entertaining.
Positive email, Ed. Not like the one we got 2 weeks ago.
What's that, Mel?
A positive email, not like the one we got 2 weeks ago.
It was very positive. I mean, from across the pond. I mean, it was nice to get some positive feedback.
Not Wales, Massachusetts.
No.
Okay.
So I want to start with Ed because Ed never really starts off the email answer. But Ed, you've been here since the start. So if you could go back and change anything, what would you go back and change?
You learn and get better. So I really wouldn't want to change everything, and I really like the fact that we've been having a lot of our friends come on as guest appearances and that type of thing. And it's been great. It's been great to kind of reconnect with everybody, break each other's balls every now and again. I always seem to be the brunt of the joke, but I can take it because, I can take it. A lot of these other people here on the panel, they get a little sensitive if you turn it around on them. Just saying. So I keep my mouth shut. I can fire back, but I don't because I always tend to hurt people's feelings when I do.
Well, Ed, you haven't scared anybody away yet. Unlike
not yet. Proof of life. They're being signed this very moment. I can't wait to get them and rep that shit on this podcast. It's gonna be legit.
Like
can't
the shirt,
wait.
right?
Huh?
Like the T-shirt.
Hey, dude. Ironically, I think I bought this the day before James Earl Jones died. I was like, oh, we got a Star Wars shirt. Buy. Next day, James Earl Jones died. I was like, oh, fuck me.
The jinx is in.
Bradford, I want to ask you, since you've come on the podcast, what would you change since you started?
I liked our format. I like that I don't know words. I'm in Mississippi, guys. I don't fucking know. I don't have a vocabulary down here. We do a lot. We have tinfoil hat, cooking with Chris. We do some sports talks. I think we get a little long-winded sometimes when we get deep into sports stuff. And I love that we talk wrestling, sports. We got a round table. If people don't like it when we're talking picks or they don't like it when you guys talk hockey, fast forward to the parts you like because we got plenty of options in the hour.
You're gonna need to stop talking about yourself about the hockey part.
I mean, yeah. When I watch back, I'm like hockey, but I will say this: since the Cowboys suck, your boy might be jumping on this Dallas Stars bandwagon.
There you go.
I need something to cheer for, guys.
I'm
in the dumps right now.
Hey, listen, I could throw a bunch of stuff out. There's a lot of things that I really love about the podcast. The thing I love the most is just being with the guys, chirping, getting some good banter going, laughing. Especially, I get a kick out of it when somebody pops me and makes me laugh. Like a couple weeks ago with Ed reading that email, I was roaring. There's just these little subtle things that make me laugh. I don't laugh any harder than on the podcast most of the time, especially when somebody comes up with something out of them. And I tried right from the rip to get everybody on, and I know everybody's schedule is different, but it's fun just to get together on a Saturday night, especially in the wintertime when things start to slow down. And
Exactly.
not really socially for me, but socially on this, it's great to get everybody together, see the faces, and hopefully around that 100th episode, we'll be able to get everybody on for one big laugh fest and do like another best of, and hopefully Shaggy and the Phantom and Ray, they'll have some more episodes that they've been on, and we can talk about favorite moments like we always do at the anniversaries. And then from episode 100 on, we'll probably just do it at 200 or 150 and kind of make those anniversary episodes more, spread out and go from there. But, we're working on 100 episodes. It's going to be great. I'm going to go to the professor who is the voice of reason, the stats guy. Thomas, changes. What would you do?
Well, first, my Spidey senses kind of tingled when I got this email because James doesn't know how to spell Wales. So I'm having a little bit of doubt on whether or not this email actually came from Wales or not, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But I guess changing anything, I think I'd piggyback off what you said and just have the whole crew here from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. I'll just ask the fandom real quick. Since you've been on, Brankowitz, any changes you would make?
No, I don't think I'd change anything, to be honest. I don't know if everybody knows, or when you guys were first coming up with the concept, it was like you guys asked me there was going to be the four of us, and I was like the one who was like, I don't do it. I ain't doing that. You're crazy. So the three ended up going on and doing it without me, which was fine. But because I didn't do it, then you added Brad and you added Chris, and who knows, the whole show might be different if I had joined, and it would just be just the four of us, and we would never have to the point where it is now. So I wouldn't change a thing.
So see, one door closes, another one opens. That's
How doors work,
Yeah.
That's
so
terrifying that you said that, Phantom. That's terrifying.
Cowboys fan violence. Look at that. Speaking of Cowboys fans,
Cowboy violence. Wow.
somebody else on this podcast I remember as a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Could you raise your hand? Raymond.
Yeah.
Raise your hand.
Yes, since 1978. I've seen him good, bad, good, and my personal opinion, the only thing that's going to help them is Jerry Jones either selling the team or just all out dying. Serious, because he tries to do everything. In my opinion, I don't think he's smart enough. He's trying to run it. I mean, people can say what they want about Bill Belichick and the Patriots, but not Belichick, Kraft is he bought the team as a fan, had a shitload of money, let everybody do what they did, and he put the right, and he just sat there and signed the checks. That's in my opinion, what an owner should do. And Jerry Jones, he's screwing him right into the ground.
I heard Jerry Jones is a big podcast fan.
Yeah, he tuned in
Jerry,
last
we'd
week.
love to have you on.
So we think
Jerry,
The
I'll give you my
difference-
number. We can
The
chat.
difference between Jerry and Robert Kraft, though, is Jerry has a son, and there is a bloodline to inherit and continue the bullshit.
Kraft has
Kraft,
kids.
as far as I know,
Jonathan.
He has a kid.
there's a lot of kids.
but they're not involved with the team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Oh,
Are
are
you?
they? Oh,
His son
fuck.
sits next to him every game.
Take
Oh,
out
they're
your
screwed then.
cowboy blinders.
Yeah, they're screwed. I mean, Stephen Jones is the one making all these executive decisions, trading Amari Cooper for a 5th-round draft pick. That was Stephen Jones. So that, if Kraft is got the same bloodline issues, yeah, both teams are screwed.
Let's before we get into the sports talk, as we're segueing into, we're gonna stop with this email, great email, and talk Vince McMahon episode 3. So this is the timeline between the steroid trial and the Bret Hart screw job. This is right before the boom again of the Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon character kind of bleeded out of this. I'm going to go to the Phantom. Thoughts on the Vince McMahon episode 3?
I mean, once again, it kind of rolls into what we've been saying for the first two. Not a whole hell of a lot that we didn't already know. It's more of let's go back in history. Maybe you kind of forgot about something you hadn't really thought about, and then maybe you get some thoughts off of it. Like I kind of like when they were talking about like they got into like the curtain call, and with Triple H is the only one you're not going to touch, Shawn Michaels, because he's the champion. The other two guys are leaving, so it all falls on Triple H to eat shit or what have you. But from that, the fallout from that was he was supposed to win that King of the Ring. Now, if that doesn't happen, now Austin ends up winning King of the Ring, and he goes on to have the famous promo with the 316 and all that. So if if that hadn't happened, who knows if we end up with the Austin 316, because that kind of got him off on the trajectory there.
Raymond, I'm going to go to you. I had mentioned that we were going to kind of review the Vince McMahon stuff.
And I actually forgot to watch it, honestly.
Attaboy. Attaboy. I knew it, Brett. You're on for a
Lowering
reason.
the bar right off the bat. I love it.
He fits right in with the rest of us.
God.
I just want to ask you thoughts on old school wrestling, Vince McMahon. Just what do you?
Oh, I loved old school 80s, 90s, and then after that, to be honest, I just sort of lost interest.
Vince McMahon as a character, though. What do you think of Vince McMahon as a person with all the stuff that's come out about him?
It's got a lot of money to cover everything up, for one, which it's going to end up coming down to if anything, probably a fine. But
Thomas, thoughts on episode 3?
Like Ryan said, there wasn't much didn't know about that they came out with, but one thing I didn't realize was the reason he stopped doing the Billionaire Ted skits was because the woman who was the founder of USA Network was friends with Ted Turner and told him to stop. And I didn't know that he had asked Nash and Hall to get in the skits, and they said no. And it turns out, they didn't really say why, but the reason they didn't was because they knew they were leaving. But the only other thing that was really kind of I didn't realize was that Bischoff had auditioned for the WWF and going to the what ifs. What if they had signed him? Would WCW have ever had that streak that they did with what was it, 86 weeks or some ridiculous number of weeks they beat them in the ratings? So those were the two things I took away. Plus, the one big thing that was how much of a hypocrite McMahon is with whining about Ted Turner stealing all the talent when that's all he did in the 80s, was stealing guys that he looked bad on that one.
Yeah, he did. Shaggy, thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, I'm going back to the Wendy Richter spider match. I think Feathers Moolah should wear a mask her whole career. She looks like a goddamn farmer tied to the back of a tractor and plowed the field with her face.
Jesus.
Hey, I watched that Dark Side of the Ring. She's a freaking madam in a whorehouse, freaking using all those poor little wrestlers. She's a horrible person.
Damn. I don't know if I've seen that episode.
I mean, old folks are just talking a lot of truth.
hey.
Spit it out, baby. Spit it out.
Bradford, thoughts on episode 3?
What? Yeah, he's making another one. That's his third one since we started.
Happy
The
birthday.
bottle's almost empty.
What do you got, Brad?
Hey, back
not
in the
a
day,
lot that
you
we haven't
finished eating
seen in
Smash
Dark
Burger.
Side. Not a lot that we haven't seen in Who Killed WCW. I did make the boys sit down and watch the Montreal Screwjob. I was like, look, dude, there's a lot of wrestling history. We can't continue to be this wrestling family if you don't know the Montreal Screwjob. So I made him watch this. That's Bret Hart. Here's a Hart Foundation. Here's Owen Hart. He fell from the rafters. He died. It was sad. Somehow he already knew about that. I guess YouTube. But I was like, look, man, this was a very controversial match. But watching it back on this one, I used to always kind of like side with Bret on this one, on that. But watching it back and hearing Bret bitch and complain about it, and then seeing Vince's side and then getting spit in the face, I'm like, wait a minute. Bret Hart's kind of a dick. Like, you were leaving. Why not put Shawn over, give him the title? Vince literally told you to, like, the part I didn't know is Vince sat him down and was like, look, here's every loophole in your contract. I'm gonna lay it out. Take all of this to WCW and get your payday like Hogan and Macho Man and everyone else did. He hooked the boy up, and all he had to do was drop the title, and he fucking acted like that. I don't know, man. So I got some feelings about it, but for the most part, I'm waiting for some bombshell Vince McMahon shit to drop. I was really excited for this documentary, and it's not delivered. This stuff I already know, man. And I'm not even in the weeds like you guys were, or are, you know what I mean? So if it's stuff I know, it's surface level, it's not delivering, So I don't know. Kind of disappointed in this episode. I fast forwarded through like half of it.
Shaggy, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I believe the one stipulation Brett had was, I'll lose it, just not in Canada. Like,
yeah, he don't want to lose it.
Don't do it in Canada. If I can go to India,
Yeah.
I'll lose it. That's fine, but
Yeah, you know what? I don't care. That's and the other part that was news to me, being I guess I'm the youngest wrestling fan on here, was the curtain call. I didn't know about that. I don't know. My point in life, I missed that, but that was basically the death of kayfabe, and I'm kind of pissed about it, to be honest. Like, watching it now, and Undertaker's the only one who's like, "Nah, that shit was fucked up. They shouldn't have done that." And now seeing Solo Sikoa help a granny on the airplane, Jacob Fatu give his T-shirt to a crying little girl in the parking lot. I'm like, yeah, we need kayfabe back. That wrestling is suffering because we don't have kayfabe. We have baby faces, we have heels. A heel should be a heel on and off screen. Period. Don't be the White Six and then go to the goddamn fucking Waffle House the next night.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I have feelings about it.
Bradford, it's all the stuff I've been talking about for a while. I mean, it's like, it's like the Lone Ranger shooting Indians back in the day, or bank robbers, and all of a sudden, after they keep the camera roll so that he can help them up and say, "Look, we were just acting." It's so just don't pull that veil away. Just leave it. Yeah,
not a fan. Not a fan.
Him Duggan and caught doing coke with Aaron Sheik in the back of a limo.
Yeah, go back to those days. Steroids and cocaine.
It was a rental car.
Wrestling better.
My bad. Rental car. My bad.
I'm gonna go to Ed. Ed, thoughts on episode 3?
All right, look, I didn't watch it, but just bottom line is to say, there's nothing that they're putting on this that's going to be anything new, because they can't. They're going to court with this stuff. So the thing is they can't do it. So they're just repackaging it and everything like that into 6 episodes. And there's not going to be anything anybody that has one toe into being a wrestling fan from the beginning of the beginning of the 80s, from the rise of the WWF, then to the WWE Attitude Era, and then all that stuff. I mean, it's nothing new. And to Ray's point, look, I mean, everybody that has money, they make things disappear. It's part of the game. That's how they got to that point.
Politicians.
Yeah, they even talked about the Jimmy Snuka thing for a minute, and then when they talked to Wendy Richter, the thing that I thought was funny was when she didn't know that the Spider Lady was Fabulous Moolah. You can't miss that. You can't miss that build coming at you. most of the time that Spider Lady was in the WWE, I believe it was Judy Martin, and Judy Martin looks nothing like Fabulous Moolah. So I mean, screw job. The referee counted 3, and it was awful. I mean, that whole story is so bad. It's just bad all the way around. But they put Wendy Richter in the Hall of Fame because of Triple H, and kind of made amends with that. And I guess that's the silver lining at the end of that story. But the question with Wendy Richter is they wanted her to sign a new deal, and she didn't agree to the money that they were offering her, and she thought she was the female Hulk Hogan. I can't agree with that. I mean, the type of merchandise and things that Hogan was doing back then, not even close. Not even close.
Funny Fabulous Moolah every week.
How about how they buried Luger with the talking about him trying to replace Hogan, and they were like, he wasn't even close.
Yeah. I mean, the hindsight with the story is always funny because of they didn't talk to him either in this. I would have liked to have heard his side of it too. If they brought him in and promised him stuff, and he's still alive. That's a great person for that segment that they could have used. So
he's a shell of a human being, or what he used to be too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Drugs are bad, kids. Drugs are bad.
Yeah. And the Elizabeth thing, which was the whole dark side of the ring. So Thomas,
Yo,
let's segue away from the wrestling and get into some shitty picks.
all righty. Tom's Shitty Picks is brought to you by Brock Street Brewing Company, located at 244 Brock Street South in Whitby, Ontario. Everything is brewed in-house, including their hard iced teas, their vodka sodas, their beers, and their hard seltzers. So if you're in the Whitby area, go check them out and tell them the 1973 podcast sent you. All I can say is this week here, I'm glad I took the game I did because I did win. I took Tennessee over Alabama, and I almost took Texas. I thought it was too easy, Texas over Georgia, and right now Georgia's laying a whooping on Texas. It's 23-0 at halftime. It might be time for Arch Manning to come into the game for Texas in the
Yep.
third quarter.
Arch Madness. Let's go.
But this coming week here, there's some more good games. There's number 19 Missouri versus Alabama. Illinois is playing Oregon, but the game I'm going with is LSU versus Texas A&M. It's number 8 versus number 9. I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I mean, they're so close. It's not really an upset, but I'm going with Texas A&M. They're playing at home, and they impressed me a couple weeks ago when they beat, I think it was Missouri, pretty handily. So that's who I'm going with this week.
Thomas, you want to talk about the NFL news before you get into the picks?
Yeah, there was a couple trades. I want to see what the guys thought, who they think made out between the two trades, who got the better of the wide receivers. It's Devontae Adams got traded. Everybody knew he was going to go there, but he got traded to the Jets for I think it was a conditional 3rd-round pick, which could go into a 2nd-round pick depending on his stats. And Amari Cooper got traded from Cleveland to the Buffalo. There was a couple of picks involved in that one as well. I think it was a 3rd-round pick Cleveland ended up getting, but they also gave Buffalo, I think, a 6th-round pick. So I want to see what the guys thought about those deals.
Baggy.
I was saying, I think the Bills might be making out. I think Cooper would be a good pick. I see the Jets shit. It's a team that's falling apart with a guy who's a head case. Like, I don't see it working out too well. I know he's friends with Aaron Rodgers, but how far can that carry him?
Bradford?
The irony of Devontae Adams getting traded from Green Bay to go play with the Raiders, to come back to the Jets to play with Aaron Rodgers. But I think that's a good move for him. I think it's a good move for Aaron Rodgers because his receivers have proven to be pretty unreliable, except for Alan Lazard. He really needs somebody to catch the ball. I mean, Aaron Rodgers still has a lot left, man. Like, he's shown that. But if they can't win with Devontae Adams, I think the problem's bigger than just firing the coach. I think he's giving off some LeBron James vibes there in New York, getting rid of staff and whatnot when it doesn't work out. But Amari Cooper, man, like, you want to talk about a consummate professional teammate, somebody who is there for his team, his teammates, for the organization. He is nothing but a consummate professional when it comes to his craft. He doesn't do the diva shit. He never starts trouble. He shows up to work. He works his 9 to 5. He does what he's asked to, and he's a great athlete, man. You never see emotion from him because he's reserved. That's not his personality type. He wasn't like that in Alabama. He's not like that in the pros. He shows up. He lets his game speak for him. He doesn't have to go speak to the media to get his points across. I love that they got a 3rd-round pick. Even though the Cowboys got screwed, it took a 5th-round pick for him. I think the Cowboys gave up on him way before, because he's been a stud in Cleveland. But also kind of it points to what me and Ed talk about a lot. It's like these guys, you look at the life cycle and the shelf life of a pro NFL player, wide receivers, by all means, CeeDee Lamb and any other young receiver, hold out, get your payday. Because before you know it, you're traded to the fucking Raiders or to the Browns for a 5th-round pick. And you're just yesterday's news, man. And before you know it, you're Ocho Cinco or T.O. playing in the UFL or Canadian Football League or Arena Football somewhere, still trying to pay your baby's mamas because you got a bunch of bills. So get your fucking payday, man. I'm not mad at him. I wish Amari Cooper excels. I hope Devontae Adams shows out. It's crazy NFL, and the Cowboys have signed nobody. So there's that.
Raymond, any thoughts on those trades?
None.
Good. I like that. Ed.
Oh, I mean, aren't the Jets such a dumpster fire? God, it's so fun to watch. It really is. Like that it's going to implode. Like you fire your head coach, who really is not the problem, and then you basically do what he wanted to do, and you demote Nathaniel Hackett from being the OC, and then you bring in Devontae Adams. Like that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The thing about it is just like, look, these guys are a commodity. Receivers are a commodity, 3.5 to 4 years maximum. If you can hang on to get that second contract, show me the money. I mean, the thing about it is just that, like, we all know the teams that that you go to. That it's so sad nowadays to see what the Raiders have become. The Browns have always been the Browns, and the Jets, other than the years with what's his face, with Parcells and with Ryan. I mean, they're a dumpster fire. And then Amari Cooper, I mean, I can't. He never said anything when he's with the Cowboys. Never said anything with the Browns. And I bet he's sitting there thinking to himself, man, I can't believe that I got out of that place. And I'm so thankful because Deshaun Watson is handcuffed that club, the Browns, for the next 4 or 5 years, and they can't get out of it because they guaranteed him the money.
Phantom, want to weigh in on those trades?
Yeah. I mean, great moves for both teams. Really, they didn't really give up much. I think it's huge for Josh Allen to get Cooper because they traded away Diggs. They thought they could get by with the young guys, and it really hasn't worked out. So that's a huge plus for them. You figure they got like a 2-game lead in the East, and then you look at the Jets, and it's like you got Adams, you got Wilson. Hall defense is really, really good. So I mean, who knows? I mean, they could actually really go on a run. They don't really have any holes other than probably head coach, which is huge. They should have put everything on its ear and grabbed Belichick back to fucking New York. That'd have been great. But Adams going there. He's still one of the best receivers in the league. I thought that Rodgers were going to do something with Wilson, but I think he's kind of struggling to connect a little bit with him. But
they may trade him now.
I think the Jets could make it close. I think they can push Buffalo. As far as like Miami and the Pats, they're out of it. But should be a 2-team race for the rest of the season.
All right, Thomas, let's get into some picks.
One more thing on the whole with the Jets with Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know if you guys saw what they actually demoted him. His new job is writing the play cards out for the coaches for the game. They give him the plays and he has to write them and hand them out to all the coaches but that just shows he's Rodgers' boy. So instead of firing him to keep Rodgers happy, they gave him a minuscule job. But hey, he's still getting paid. All right, you want to get into the picks, AC?
Yeah, let's get into the picks.
All right.
Hey, Thomas, before we start the picks, I'd like to know what was the record for everybody last week?
We have to change somebody's name from the mouth of the South to Mr. Perfect because our man Ed went 14-0 this past week. We all had good weeks, but he went 14-0.
See, let me go on record to say that everybody thinks we pick on Ed, and Ed had his towel out. He had a lousy week last week. He was ho-humming it on the podcast, and we got to give him his props this week. Went perfect for the week, first time ever. That's why Brad wants to shorten the picks, because he doesn't want to have Ed go another perfect week.
No, we picked the same amount, right? Like we just send Tom the rest of them. But maybe instead of going through how many games this week, Tom?
15.
That's a lot. And 7 people, that's a lot. That's all I'm saying.
I think somebody just wants more time for their conspiracy, but that's okay.
Yeah, one more screen time.
Wait. And there is a conspiracy there.
Yes.
That's the conspiracy.
So we're going to go with 5 games this week. Ray, if you're more than welcome if you want to make picks. We don't do point spreads. We just pick a winner of the game. I don't know how big of an NFL guy you are. I know you're a hockey guy, but it's up to you. I'll go with game 1. Cincinnati Bengals at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Andy.
How am I doing so far on these picks?
You are in second place. You're tied with Ed. Brad is 62-30. Ed and Andy are both 60-32.
Am I first?
No, you're 2 games out. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
you are. I'm sorry, you are in first.
All right, the rest of the rankings don't matter, boy. We only care about the number one.
And then it's Ryan and myself. We're both 55 and 37, and Shaggy's 46 and 30, but he's missed a couple weeks.
Only 1 week.
1 week. I'm sorry.
Give me a little credit.
Very little. But
Hey, birthday boy. I mean, you want to get smacked 49 times?
all right, AC, Cincinnati, and Philly.
I will take Susanna Hoff's favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals.
All righty. Shaggy.
Give me a cheesesteak.
All righty. Brad.
I'm gonna pick Cincinnati, not because Andy did, but because I think
there's some gamesmanship going on over here.
I think there's a real possibility that they're on the up and Philly's on the down. So I'm
Listen.
gonna pick Cincinnati.
I'm not one of these betting guys like some of these MFs on this thing, but I gotta call bullshit because this fucking guy is in first place. All of a sudden, now he doesn't want to do the picks. We've been doing it all last year. I'm just cycling him along, and he's still threatened.
All right, do all 15 picks then. Do all 15.
Oh, no.
We'll
no,
sit here
good.
for an hour and a half, 2 hours, going through 7 guys and 15 games.
Do I get credit for their 10 games I didn't pick on this thing?
Just send it
Do
to
no
me.
fucking homework.
Email,
Hey, we
send it
still
to me
got to
back.
pick the other 10 games. We're only doing 5
Do any
live.
homework?
The other 10 still got to be sent to Tom.
Wait a minute.
Brad, I'm with you.
Wait, this is when Ed should say, Brad, stop being a bitch.
All right, Ray, who
The
do you
Phantom said he's with me, so
Philly.
y'all can suck
going with
it.
Philly.
All righty. Mr. Branco.
Give me the Eagles.
All righty. Ed.
Philly's pretty close to starting a dumpster fire, but I'm gonna go with Philly anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw after the game the other day, but Nick Sirianni got into it with the fans after the game, so I think the pressure's starting to get to him in Philly. But I'm going with Philly in this game because Cincinnati's defense is horrible. Next game, I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Atlanta Falcons. Andy.
I'm going to do damage control with Brad, and I'm going to pick Tampon Bay.
All right. Shaggy.
You don't want to go to Brad first so you can piggyback him?
Next game, I'm going to pick Brad first before
good.
Andy.
I'll take Atlanta.
Okay. Brad.
Look, I'm not picking them because Andy picked them. They're playing at home. They're both 4-2. This is going to be probably one of the best games of the week. I'm going with Tampon Bay, but not because Andy did.
Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you why it takes so long to do these picks, because Brad has to give like the back of a freaking menu of why he's making his pick. He just can't say Tampon Bay.
I can't. I got Shaggy over here doing this on the camera.
Hey,
I can't
don't
just
blame me.
fucking say the name and roll on. I have to explain it.
Hey, let's fucking go. We're from the north. Make it fast.
All
Ray,
his
who you got?
nonverbals over here. He's doing all this. I can't just come on, man.
Ray, who you got, Tampa Bay or Atlanta?
Tampa. Going with Tampa.
All right. Ryan?
I got sidetracked by Brad. I forgot who's playing.
Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
Give me Hot Atlanta.
All righty. Ed?
605 on TBS, please.
All righty.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, seriously.
1973 podcast, motherfucker. You gotta know.
Fucking
This ain't the 1982 broadcast.
What does 605 mean?
I see
605
702 back.
TBS. It's called Atlanta, bro.
Oh,
Oh,
I
see
didn't know that.
702.
I'm going with Tampa Bay in that game too. I mean, it's funny how that schedule works. I think these guys played like 2 weeks ago, and they're already
Yeah.
playing each other again.
Brad, you're excused from making a comment. Shaggy, I'm really disappointed in you, man. You should know better than that.
I should know the Atlanta fucking area code. The
It's the time the WCW used to go on TBS, man. You should know better than that.
same as
Shaggy is turned all the way up.
You know this.
All right,
For
third
our-
game. Seattle Seahawks versus the Buffalo Bills in Seattle. Andy.
I'm gonna take the-
No, don't pick. Brad, your pick.
Oh, my pick.
That's right.
The fuck?
Are those Zupas?
Going with Buffalo.
All righty. Andy.
Well, just because I'm not doing it because Brad picked it, but I say I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
First of all, that sounds just like me.
Jaggy.
Well, let me draw this out a little longer so I can fit in other people here. And I guess I'll go with Seattle.
What? You didn't draw it out at all.
Ray.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
All righty. Phantom.
I'm going Buffalo.
All righty. Ed.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo. And also, Shaggy, for the record, the area code for Atlanta is 404.
I'm going with Buffalo as well. I think they're going to go on a roll now with Cooper in there. Next game could be a really good game. Washington Commanders at home against the Chicago Bears. Brad.
Oh, Washington, 100%.
All righty. Andy.
Just like Brad, I'm going Commando.
All righty. Shaggy.
Redskins. And why do you know fucking Atlanta's area code?
Ray.
Holy shit.
Chicago.
All righty. Phantom.
Because I live pretty close to it. That's why.
I'm gonna go Bears. I think they got a better D.
Yep. All righty. Ed.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
All right. I'm going to go with Chicago in this game. I agree with Ryan. I think their defense is a little better. Next game, the final game. And just for Brad, I'm picking Dallas's game.
No.
San Francisco 49ers at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Brad.
Why are you making me do this, man? Belt.
Because that ain't in the top 5 games.
Why are you making me do this, Tom?
Because I want to hear it.
Come on, Brad, do it.
I want to maintain my lead. I'm going to say San Francisco, man. The Cowboys are an absolute shit show right now, and I cannot support this bullshit anymore. I can't fucking do it, man. Can't do it.
Andy?
I will take Rob Halford's favorite football team, the 49ers.
All righty. Shaggy?
I will take Dwight Clark and the catch 49ers.
That hurts, buddy.
Ray?
I got to go with the 49ers.
Oh!
All righty. Phantom?
How far back am I?
6 games.
6 games. I'll fuck that 49ers.
We turned them all. All the Cowboys fans have turned.
Ed?
49ers.
Yeah, clean sweep for the panel. I'm going with 49ers as well. So, AC, that's it.
So
Breaks my heart.
before we wrap up the sports talk, I want to talk about the passing of Louis Tiant for you Red Sox fans out there. Shaggy rocking the Louis Tiant shirt. I'm going to go to the professor, and I want to hear thoughts on the passing of Louis Tiant.
It's a big loss, and not only for him when he played, because he was a good player, but anyone that's ever been to a Red Sox game knows he's there every game. He's just so personable. I have a picture with him, and he has a restaurant. I don't know if I haven't been to a game in a couple of years, but he used to have a restaurant right there at Fenway as well. But he sort of reminded me of, he was better than Johnny Pesky, don't get me wrong, but he was like an ambassador for the team ever since he left. He was always at the games and always there, but he won the ERA title a couple of times. He was a great player. It's a sad thing because, you don't want to see anyone. He seemed like he was in good health every time I ever saw him, but he always was. He was willing to do anything for the team. He was there every year at the fantasy camp. I have a friend of mine who goes every year and plays at the Red Sox fantasy camp with the Red Sox, and Tiant, he has a picture of smoking cigars with Louis Tiant outside of the stadium, and he was just said he was such a nice guy. He said it's actually how it seemed.
Raymond, thoughts as a kid on Louis Tiant?
Uh, just like what Tom was saying, he was always at the games. He was always involved. He always waved the Red Sox flag. You know, and said another hero from our childhood is gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It seems like it's happening more and more when we
oh
talk
my God!
about it on the
A
podcast.
couple of weeks ago, there was what 6 in like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
It just kept rolling over on top of another. Sad, but
Shaggy, thoughts on Louis Tiant?
Yeah, Mr. Tiant was a great gentleman. Eddie and I went to college with his son Danny. Great kid, great family. Really hard to miss him. It's a hard thing for the Sox family. Like, he was a great guy.
Ed, thoughts on the passing of Louis Tiant?
I'm just going to echo what Shaggy said. I mean, you know, and what everybody else has said, just, you know, always seemed to be kind of like the epitome of what baseball players should be for the team that they retired from or who they played the most. You know, he kind of reminded me of like Milt Schmidt with the Bruins, just always kind of just like, hey, thanks for coming, you know, welcome back, you're welcome here, you know, like just being a great team ambassador, you know, and it's just, you know, I mean, he was 83 when he passed away. It's, you know, I mean, everybody's getting to be that point, you know, where, you know, 83, that's a good life to say the least, you know. So always, you know, Red Sox Nation. I always remember him, you know, always having that aura down in Fenway, especially when I was working, you know, all those liquor promotions down in that area back in the day, and you know, always like, you know, there was always some sort of presence down there. So he'll be greatly missed for sure.
Frankowitz, thoughts on the passing of Louis Tiant?
Is this the 1973 podcast or the 1963 podcast? When Oil Can Boy dies, then I'm ready to talk. Louis Tiant, rest in peace. I don't really remember him as a player too much. I just know the name.
I think that's a great point. Great point. I can't disagree with that at all. I recall one of Louis Tiant's shining moments was striking out Pete Rose in one of the playoff games from the 76 World Series.
35.
Yep.
2 years old, Brad. You don't even have to go. It's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we just gave some more time for some picks right there. Not having Brad talk.
Yeah, Brad, just keep buying shirts and we'll just keep reading your lines. So speaking of Bradford, we're gonna switch it. One of our favorite segments. He's gonna educate the people up north from somewhere in a remote location. He doesn't like to divulge his location. He's from parts unknown, in a bunker deep in the darkest parts of Africa. Bradford, we're gonna do the lead in, Tom, or what?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you, brother.
I'm getting sidetracked with the comedy. You're gonna have to excuse me.
Brad's tinfoil hat conspiracy of the week is brought to you this week by the book Loving Elliot, a fitting tribute to undying love, written by our very own Andy Clark, available on Amazon.com. Elliot was the oldest special needs Jack Russell Terrier when he passed away at the age of 21. Take it away, Brad.
Boom. Did you turn on screen share?
You should be good to go there, Holmes.
Okay. It's just real quick because boom. Let's click that. All right, cool. Can y'all see all of this?
Shit's getting real.
Yep.
Yes, so real. So if you go and Google Devon Island and just type that in. Don't even type in anything extra. Nothing about NASA or any space exploration. Just type in Devon Island, and these are the photos that come up because some really computer savvy people have found out. They've used Google Earth and some other, technology that NASA has basically been sharing their photos. They do training missions in Devon Island. It is a remote island somewhere up in Canada, right? And they go there and they train their astronauts, and then they put a red filter over them and they share it to the public as if we've been to fucking Mars. I'm just gonna throw this out. We haven't even been to the moon since 1970 something, like 76, I think. Do
Supposedly.
you think we're landing astronauts on Mars or even these rovers? Look at this thing. Do y'all see this? I don't know. This it looks like a bus from Mars. Do you think we're landing that somewhere and driving it? No, we're spending taxpayer money to develop all these cool little gadgets to go explore Mars, and all NASA can show us. Look at this guy. There's an astronaut standing next to this robot thing, and they just put a red filter over it and say we went there. I'm starting to feel like we've never been to Mars, man. Just gonna throw that out there. And there's even some evidence of this guy me and Andy follow on TikTok. He said when you look at Mars through a regular telescope, it looks like you're looking at a light bulb or something through water. It don't even look like a planet. It looks like you're looking through the firmament at a light bulb. Pretty convincing stuff, man. Like every one of these photos that NASA has shared of them being on Mars, people have gone and found the same location on Devon Island. So look at this moon truck, bro. We paid our taxes and paid for this thing. Guys, we're not driving this on the moon or on Mars. Let's be honest. So that's my conspiracy this week. Pretty wacky stuff. We're basically funding our own deception. Tom, what do you think?
I did a little research this afternoon when I found out what you were talking about, and I actually have to agree with you on this one. I think it does look a little fishy with everything that I saw. But I'm not typing anything in because I don't want to end up on any government lists.
I'm already on the list.
Oh, I know. I've already talked to somebody about you. I mean, I don't want to say I sold you out, but they offered
did you?
something I couldn't refuse.
Was it
Wait,
from Wales?
somebody-
That sent the email.
What? The FBI came to your house?
No.
Oh, woo.
Dodge the bullet. Hide that hard drive, Brad.
Bro, since we started this podcast, I've had some questionable searches. I'm on the FBI's list, 100%.
I want to ask Ray, because we've talked about this before when I've talked to Ray about conspiracy theories. Ray, thoughts on not just what Brad was talking about, but as a whole, your first time being on the podcast, thoughts on your views of conspiracy theories, what we grew up being taught versus what your thoughts are now.
Well, what conspiracy theories? I mean, there's a zillion of them. It's like growing up, the biggest one was the JFK assassination. I still believe that there was more than one shooter. The Sirhan, that's an open and shut one to myself because Sirhan's gun held 8 bullets. They removed 12 bullets from RFK, the wall, the door jams, and everything. And the kill shot was within 2 inches of the back of his head. Sirhan was never behind her; he was always in front of him. The head of the security for RFK that day was Rosie Greer, the old football player. Remember him?
Yep.
And I mean that assassination brought into the Secret Service will protect the nominee for the Democrat, and that's when it started. It was there, but yeah, which that to me is the most open to shut one, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've talked about.
But as far as as far as the stuff that he just showed, that's the first time I'm seeing that. But some of those buggies that he showed, I wouldn't go across Shaw's parking lot on a foggy day.
Yeah. Hey, the funny thing is it's the search for knowledge, I guess, the lifting the veil for like-minded individuals to try to put the pieces together of all the stuff that I will give it to TikTok. There are some people on there that have, I don't know where they came from or what, but they have some stuff that it's mind blowing. the whole reset with mud floods and all this other stuff that has come out over the last, like, since COVID. It's like crazy. The stuff that's come out of COVID with conspiracy theories, not the COVID itself. I'm saying that all this time, free time that people had, it seemed like there was a large chunk of people that did super deep dives into like rabbit holes on the internet to come up with these things and kind of point fingers at different things for people to go, hey, if you like that, check this out. If you like that, check this out. And it like kind of intertwines how all the things from the Rockefeller theory to all kinds of things. So we've only been doing the tinfoil hat probably like the last, how many episodes, Brad? Like maybe the last 20 episodes, 15 episodes, and it's kind of
Something like that.
yeah, it's
Pretty recent.
Yeah, it's caught fire. I mean, a lot of people like to watch it and interested in it. A lot of the comments are based on the conspiracy theories that we've talked about too. So
Aliens, UFOs.
We could get into it. I mean, it's crazy. Just some of these things that are presented. So we're about at the hour mark, fellas. Unless Bradford wants to add anything this week, you guys want to wrap it up for another one?
Well, I just want to say I haven't been like deep in the weeds on the RFK assassination. I've done my share of research for JFK. So I don't know, maybe next week, man, I might dive a little deeper into that one just for my own my own essays, just because I want to see what that one's about.
Yeah, so maybe Ray lit a fire with something. Maybe we can discuss that next week for a tinfoil hat and bring it. Ray, now you're gonna come on next week and talk RFK.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I will be here.
All right.
The comes on and hijacks the whole segment.
What happened? What Ray stayed pretty much chill the whole, and then at the end, give him the ball, and he all of a sudden he's breaking backboards like Dominique Wilkins.
Yep.
yeah. And he gets teeth like Manute Bull.
Hey, rest in peace.
Yeah. He did play hockey for that 12 seconds, remember?
Yep, that's true. He did. So shout outs this week. We're gonna start with Thomas. What do you got?
I don't have much, but I'll give a shout out to my guinea pig, Piggy Smalls, because he had a tough week. He jumped out of my arms the other day, and I caught him. But when I caught him, he like panicked and he hit his claw. He ripped a claw off of his paw, and it was a bloodbath. It was pretty bad, but he made it through it. He's fine, and he's a tough bastard. Didn't have to go to the doctors because nothing was open, so he had to suck it up with some cornstarch, pack it in with some cornstarch, and he was fine.
Tom, did you give him a towel like Hell in the Cell?
Big X mark on the screen. We went old school. This is 1973 podcast. We did the X on the screen.
Jackie, I saw you looking to jump in. You're next to the shout outs.
Cornstarch, you fucking fry them up and eat it? What the fuck are you talking?
Whoa.
I heard the delicacy in Mississippi.
Oh no.
No, yeah, my shout out to me. What about me? What about Raven, the birthday boy?
There he goes again.
Just kidding. I want to thank my wife and kids and family hanging out with me today. That's all.
Oh, well, mic drop. Raymond, in the center square like Paul Lind, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah. Paul Lind.
Shout out this week. Any way you want to say hi to all the guys down at work?
All the guys down at work, of course. Yeah. Mo with his underwater specialists, Palm out, baby. Palm out.
I'm out all the way, baby.
And what do you got this week?
First and foremost, I'd like to say happy birthday to my former roommate in college, Mike. Happy birthday! One more year, man. One more year, and then also like to wish happy birthday to my nephew Will. Happy birthday, little man.
I'm going to take this shout out, and I'm going to give a shout out to the Phantom. I'm going to tell you why. Here's a guy showed up to support my kid, watched her score a hat trick, this afternoon. And I just want to say thanks for showing up. That's more than a lot of people do. So thank you. Come again.
I mean,
Bradford?
I was so excited to see a hat trick from a person with a clock on the back of the shirt. I didn't know what to do.
Well, it happens a lot, so at least somebody gets them. So
I was gonna pick on Ed, but I figured I'd pick on you, so I don't know. Pile on.
wait a minute, I can take it. Story.
I didn't say I can take. I didn't say I couldn't take it.
Oh, Ed can take it.
Take it.
He can take it.
Take it. I think we should all shout out Shaggy's liver. Taking a fucking beating tonight.
Bro.
Bradford, shout out.
First of all, Shaggy drank 75% of a whole bottle of bourbon in like an hour. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So happy birthday.
The
Drink
EMTs
the
are going to
rest
be
of that
impressed.
bottle.
baby.
Drink the rest of it. What happens tomorrow happens. Tomorrow comes regardless. Drink the rest of it. But I also want to shout out the Phantom sent me a little it was funny. It was an Instagram thing about baseball dads, but it made me just think like, man, sports dads in general, shout out to you guys. It is like having a part-time freaking job. I spend more time at the ball fields than I care to admit. And we got soccer starting on top of baseball. You guys have hockey, football, so on. Man, round of applause for the sports dads, because that is tough business, dude. You're so I get it, man. Like I get off work and I'm like, I'm freaking tired. But we got hitting lessons. We got practice. We got this. We got I somehow signed myself up to be the assistant coach for soccer. I don't know dick about soccer, but they needed a coach or we couldn't play. So I signed up. And you know what, man? I'm here for the ride. Like, who cares, dude? It's for the kids and give them something. So we gonna do it. And that's what it's about. So shout out to the sports dads. You guys fucking kick ass, man.
We know this. So we're gonna close it out with the Phantom. Phantom, I don't want to hear anything about any alleged fights. Anything that was in the newspaper. I don't want to hear anything about that. Take it away.
I mean, I like to thank Ray for coming on. I was surprised to see Ray here today.
So was Ray.
I mean,
round of applause for Ray.
We definitely needed to work some hockey into this. We don't want to talk about Ray Bork. We're here to talk about Ray Tatro. Ray, right? I see the picture on the background. You turn that thing around. Put the first communion up there like a good Portuguese and we'll potty on.
40. Wow.
Brad, you know what Portuguese is?
What?
You know what a Portuguese is?
Oh no.
No Portuguese in Mississippi?
Not at all.
Where's Chris? We need to bring Chris back.
Where's Chris been?
The Portuguese brethren.
Where's Chris been? That's the question. We used to have who is the Phantom. We need a who is Chris. We need to flip it.
That is the Phantom sequel.
Yeah.
I think Ray just hung that picture because he know that that's Tom's boy. The Pope. So
Yep.
Ray, I want to say thanks for coming on. Hopefully it's more.
Thanks for having me. I'll be
thing.
back to talk conspiracy and hockey.
All right, man. So we're gonna wrap this up. So I believe that's how many episodes in the book, Thomas?
88.
Nice.
Lindros.
Ready?
Less
do
than
it.
that.
And she's no, you're not doing it. No stairway to heaven at the end. Boy, you guys suck.